A year ago, I experienced the Bieke on Sylt for the first time. Sometimes I wondered what it was all about, but somehow I also thought it had a nice meaning and was a nice celebration in the grey February. Tonight it's that time again, and there are different opinions about the Bieke. Good morning on this Friday, February 21st. I'm Tilman Redde, and I've brought you these topics today. From freezing cold to warm air, the consequences for animals and plants. A dispute in Utin, the party charges the couple Bethke, and rescue from the ice, a swan is stuck in the Schlei. But first, let's take a look at our main focus.
Today in Focus.
The Bieke is a regular topic of discussion. For some, it is a tradition, for others, a no-go. Our reporters, Jörg Bröckel and Jessica Höfner from the island of Föhr, have different opinions. My colleague Jörg has this to say about the Bieke. Well, this time brings just enough uncertainty. A Trump administration that turns its back on Europe. A German economy that is shrinking instead of growing. And wasn't there something about climate change? No wonder people are digging in at home, making themselves comfortable to keep the increasingly unpredictable world at bay. This is called cocooning. The Bieke is also a way of disconnecting from the bad news of the world. Cocooning at home, so to speak. A mental recharge in the storm of time, a good time with good friends, a reassurance that not everything will change. The cabbage is green and the Wadden Sea is blue, at least on some days. Bieke means slowly, leaving the long winter of bad news behind. And that's what we need right now. And what does my colleague Jessica say about the Bieke? Yes, 13 fires are burning on the island of Föhr, on Bieke, evening. First of all, she is not against tradition. On the contrary, traditions can be beautiful and important. Still, she sees things a little differently with the Bieke. Everyone is talking about climate and environmental protection these days. The air quality in Schleswig-Holstein has been really bad lately. That's why she thinks it's questionable to light so many fires in the evening. There is also the animal protection aspect. She is a great animal lover and is always worried that rabbits, hedgehogs and birds will have sought shelter in the piles in the cold and will die there in agony. Dry twigs, felled branches and old Christmas trees are burned for fuel. The nearly 50 fires burning at the same time produce a lot of smoke. Anyone who has breathed in the smoke knows that it scratches the throat and stings the eyes. Dr. Jens Kreutz, head of internal medicine at the Nordfriesland Clinic in Nibul, knows how harmful the smoke from the Bieke fires is. He says that, in principle, the Bieke fires are not harmful to healthy people in North Frisia, especially since the exposure occurs only once a year. The fact that the fire burns outdoors minimizes the inhalation of potentially harmful substances. All people with severe chronic lung diseases, such as COPD, bronchial asthma, or other lung diseases or pulmonary fibrosis, should avoid substances that can irritate, inflame, or damage their airways. We have created a map on shz.de with all the Bieke fires on the west coast. I wish you all a wonderful evening at a Bieke.
The climate update from SH. From freezing cold to warm air, the consequences for animals and plants.
This week, we've had really freezing temperatures on the thermometer. And over the weekend, it's expected to get above 10 degrees. For Sebastian Wache, meteorologist at Wetterwelt in Kiel, the current winter weather is completely normal, at least the sub-zero temperatures. However, the extreme weather change is having an impact on the animal and plant world. As soon as the warm air from Western Europe reaches us with spring temperatures, wild animals can be awakened from hibernation. This is not good for hedgehogs and squirrels, as they need their hibernation to get through the winter. Waking up early means a loss of energy for the animals. The meteorologist says that there may be short periods of frost in March and April, and then the wildlife will have to adapt again. For farmers in the region, the effects of the cold-warm change are less severe. Lars Kuhlmann, chairman of the Pinneberg District Farmers Association, says that frost is always good and positive for soil structure. Overall, farmers in the county are happy that there is not too much rain right now and that the soil is firm and dry, so that spring work in the fields can begin without too many problems.
More news from Schleswig-Holstein. A dispute in Utin. The party files charges against the couple Bethke.
In Utin, the election poster of Die Partei, the party, with the inscription Nazis kill, has caused a stir. Peter and Angelika Bethke saw this as an incitement to murder. They removed the poster, took it to the police, and filed a complaint. But there was a nasty surprise waiting for them. By removing the poster, they may have made themselves guilty of damage to property and theft. Police spokesman Gerlach has since announced that the initial suspicion of theft has not been confirmed. Therefore, the police did not press charges. However, the State Association of Die Partei, the party, has now come forward. They have filed a complaint for damage to property. Peter and Angelika Bethke are not yet aware of this complaint against them. Peter says, "We'll wait and not worry about it."
Rescue from the ice, a swan is stuck in the Schlei.
The night before last, a swan froze on the ice of the Schlei in front of the Veseby cliffs. It could not free itself. A hiker spotted the swan and immediately alerted the fire department. Emergency services first tried to reach the bird by boat through the ice, but failed because the ice was too thick. Robert Denning and Paul Hermes from the THW Luisenlund Foundation arrived. They brought along an ice rescuer. The two rescuers used paddles and their feet to push the dinghy across the ice to the swan. There, they carefully broke through the ice around the swan and were able to free the weakened animal. That's it for today. Have a good start to the day and a great weekend. And remember, the Bundestag election is on Sunday.